For this small project, I'm going to use these door latches which I picked up off Amazon, a pack of 10. I have some ideas as well which will occur in one of my videos to come, but we'll see how we go on using it in this particular project. Like most of my stuff, I try to be original. Let's see how we go on. They come with a renewable tip which has quite a powerful magnet for the size of it on the end, so we don't need this in this project, so I'll remove it. Here you can see a little flange on the top. I'll remove this on the with some abrasive. This project gives me an opportunity to use a pear log that I've had lying in the back garden for years. It's perfectly dry now, and the result of which, over the years, a dirty great big crack has formed down the side. I should have put end sealer on, but we'll see if I can use some of the bottom of the log which you see here. As you can see, I'm mounting it between centres using a steb centre in the headstock. Before I do anything, I've got to make sure it's balanced. The last thing I want is the thing shaking the lathe to bits. So I'm just getting it balanced by altering the position of the centre in the tailstock. I'm using the versatility of a variable speed drive by increasing the RPM up to a stage where the lathe starts to vibrate, and then just lower the speed a little bit to cut out that vibration. Then I can feel safe about turning. If you're uncertain of speed, there is a rough guide formula for determining the RPM depending on the diameter of the wood that you're going to use. It's a rough guide, but it's helpful, and it gives you a bit more confidence when you're progressing on to larger diameters. As a matter of interest, I'm doing about 800 RPM here, so the log is roughly 10-inch diameter, so it gives you a good idea. In this project, I'm going to remove quite a lot of wood here. It won't be a bowl, and so I need to save some of the bark on some of the for some of the items I'm going to join together. So I'm facing up the bottom to make it stable so that I can chop some of the wood off on the bandsaw. Here I'm just testing what sort of diameter I can get out of this log. I want to avoid the pith of the log being in the centre. Although the grain of the wood is parallel to the lathe, it's you can use a spindle gouge, but not on this intermittent cutting. I don't think. I'm reverting to a 1/2-inch ball gouge and clean it up. I can do the more intricate stuff with the spindle gouge later on, and probably use a roughing out gouge as well. A nice little chunk has come off. I think I'm going to have to revert to the good old araldite and sawdust in this project. Onwards and upwards. Here I'm repositioning the base of this object in between centres so I don't turn all the bark off. Now I've reduced the weight somewhat, I can speed the lathe up a bit and put a spigot on the end for putting into a chuck. I think I was a little bit ambitious with the bandsaw here. I might just be able to turn the tooth marks from the blade out, but ideally I wanted a different shape, but I think I can manage. Well, that's as far as I want to go turning wise for the shape. It's time to get to grips with the araldite and sawdust and sort out the base and put the chunk that came off back on. Now I've got somewhere near the shape, the finished size that I want, I'm reverting to the heavy round nose scraper. It's beautiful at absorbing vibration, especially with this intermittent cutting. I tried using the screw chisel in normal shear cutting mode, but kept picking up the wavy grain on the pair. So I'm using it in scraping mode. It's less chance of tear out, although the finishing isn't as good, obviously. Due to the increasing temperature of the cutting action with the long hole boring spade bit, it highlighted some cracks, and the cracks expanded a bit, so I'm filling these in with araldite and sawdust. Before I finish off the stem, I've reversed it in the chuck. Any marks that the chuck creates can be turned out later. Here it gives me opportunity to make a spigot smaller, so it'll go in a smaller chuck now that I've established the final shape. Now I've took the bulk of the wood off, and finish the final shape. I can speed up the lathe now and finish off the outer diameter of the base. It's still intermittent cutting, but because I'm going at a faster revs, I can clean it up far better. Here I've slightly readjusted the holding position so that I can keep the bark. There was a danger that I'd take too much wood off and there'd be very little bark left on. So I've just repositioned it a little bit, even though it's running out of true. It's only for the base. The stem will still run true when I've finished. Well, that's it. I've finished the bulk of the turning. Now it's a case of using abrasives up to 180 grit, and then using Yorkshire grit for the rest of it. 2 coats of sanding sealer and 2 coats of melamine. For obvious reasons, I'm not going to use abrasives on the base while it's rotating. I'm using a multi-tool here and rotating the base by hand to make sure I've got I don't want to sand the bark off for obvious reasons too, so I'm just sanding the part that I've turned. For the next part of the project, I've used a bit of offcut that I got from the bandsaw when I sawed up the log, and I'm going to keep the bark on this also, so it'll be complementary to the basic unit. I'm putting a small spigot so that it'll be gripped in the chuck, so I can drill a hole in the other end. I'm using a fluted parting tool here, and the advantage of it gives a good finish, so I don't have to spend a lot of time and and put it back into the chuck again to finish the base off. The finish left by the fluted parting tool is quite good.
Should he have done a little bit better in those circumstances? Used his head, his decision-making needs to be better. Yeah, I think the crowd were urging him to shoot, but you sort of need to know your limitations. I suggested.
Well, it's a case of popping the latch in the top and putting a spacer in the bottom of the base so that it gives the correct height for the pen to pop up. Well, I hope this idea inspires some of you, and take care, and catch you on my next video.